Lac Flambeau's very own Tomahawk Circle Singers. I'd like to welcome everyone to our second annual Economic Development Summit. The theme of this year's summit is Developing Green Energy and Technology-Based Solutions. You can go ahead and have a seat if you would. Before we start out with the conference this morning, an integral part of all of our activities as Indian people is to acknowledge our veterans, acknowledging our culture. That's what keeps us grounded in who we are. So, like I said, we have the Tomahawk Circle Singers here this morning. They are championship singers. They travel all around North America competing at polos, both traditional and contest polos. They are the reigning 2013 Hunting Moon Polo Champion Singers. And what can I say? They have a big future. That's the future of our tribe right here. Before we get started again, I'd like to acknowledge everybody. Thank you for coming. We'll be doing an invocation. Our tribal chairman will be doing a welcoming. I'm going to ask that the Tomahawk Circle provide us with the opening song, veteran song, and we'll bring in our colors. If you'd stand, please. United States Army, 20 years. Carrying the Lac Flambeau tribal flag, Mr. John Brown, United States Marine Corps. Carrying the United States Navy flag, Miss Georgine Brown, United States Navy. Carrying the United States Army flag, Mr. Stan Halen, United States Army. Carrying the United States Marine Corps flag, Mr. Art Bell, United States Marine Corps. Carrying the POW flag, Mr. Jason Austin, United States Marine Corps. you. At this time, I'd like to introduce the director of our Ojibwe language program here on the reservation. He's a man of great wisdom, one of my mentors, somebody I look up to. He's somebody that works with many of our students and our young people in our community. At this time, Mr. Leon Boise Vallier will do our opening prayer.
We wish. I don't know about wisdom, but we've got a lot of wind today. Shumanu, Masema, Kibnego, Nishki, West, Mio, Chikash, Tuyan, Ma, Ajwada, Shumanu, me which Minwa, the kid, Yaga, wishing to Kina, the Wadash, which Mandumana, Mami, Shang, the Wadish, Waswagri, gaining Uma, me which we are winning. It will be as well as Kastatuyan, Manisha, make one point Indian. Mirashuman Rugum, Nishna, Begman, Kedana, Kidding away, Pitendava. Mirashuman Rugum, is gaining which we are. The Luigi got the room, the Waka Kirby, who will do, when you go and move up the garden of our swami. Mirashuman, what was out of the way, get to mom. Get to go, get Martin witness the Baka Kumanu Nasa. Mirash Kuma, Ajwa, Moji India, Mawaswami, Nubu, Maridu Kedana, Mi Weji, Mam Wayisha, Mega Kena. Was way up Niga, Kiaga, when we are Mam Kenzinawa, Mi Weji, Ajwa, Dashma, Wayama, which Magwagi, Nasa, Mando, Lukwa, Kuma, Ayache. The Wadash Mishna, Meguma, Megwani, Wama, Kena Weji, Marzuji. Gave to go over Waswami, but getting the Wadash McKinney, which he is walking. Kawai Rashwiwa Kajik Aki Wenzia Minimuya, Nikayama, Gitia Awikawami. And what has many more Shabe Gaunoya Sijik Nikayama, Akusi Wigawami. And Uji's Webzia, Nasa, which Mokwa, Ujibo, Nishna, Begil, more Waipa. Shimagan Shiva gay, Gapi Gachikama, as what has Viva Bitigashikuwa. Gate go gage, Shimagan Shiva Maya, and what Viva Aya Sewa. We were a Wasaka, they were bigger in Wadama, which we go, Nasuki, Kabegi, Shikatuna, we were. We fish our, we wait to go, we wait to go, not the one we watch Maga Shiva. And what gay, Rashmisha, baby, Tawa, much more money, they don't die up to say Jigay, and what Ashkakina wish Kaya, Nuku Dashna, Sak, which Magwa, and you got walking over, we will adopt the guy, they do much Mushkiki son. And Wage, what you will equate, Kaji, Martha Winwan, Wadiba. We dash to Kunasa, we were Maya in the Kawaniawan, with the Wema. Nikema, Dashuman, who wish for Yahus with the whole, be waging a Nasa, which Magwa, do not the one Kina Nishnare. When Wadashke, Dashkwa, Ishwaga, Yuyan, Manasa, which Magwa, Ita, Juan Mishnam, Kina, we are Maya. The Wadash Banima, Yapi, we were be to wedge, Shaki, what we was okay, we were gay, Ashkatuna, we beat out Shugama, Yapi, that kiddo, with the Wema, after Chino, what we appeal, we were Dug Shugama, Ikema, Wasa, Pache. Hiroshima, Tino, Man, Gabas, Bakan, wherever you are, the Kiruta, and the Kiru and the Mam, being a showman who was go, which were gay, Manidu, without what the kiddo, as well, I'd like to express in the other language here today, expressing my gratitude to the Creator of all, in appreciation for all the gifts that we receive today, that we've received in the past, and those things that we will receive in the future. I acknowledge our trumpet today. I acknowledge the feather flags and our veterans. And I also said a prayer on behalf of all people here, people of our community, our visitors that are here today, people across this great Turtle Island. As we're all aware today, we've got elders in nursing homes. We have lots of ill people in hospitals and in our communities. Pray for their recovery. Pray for their quick recovery. And I also mentioned my gratitude that spirits were able to bring our veterans home that are with us today. We have lots of people ducking bullets today overseas, and I ask the spirits to continually to look over them each and every day until they also are able to return home veterans here in our community. So I pray that the great spirit and all of his helpers continue to give them all and give us all that life, health, and strength that we require in our everyday life. And once again, I want to say bewitched to Brandon and other staff for initiating this fantastic conference today. Our economic future is very important, and the opportunity for tribes to collaborate and make a better way for all Native people here in Wisconsin. I appreciate this effort, and I ask the spirits to help us in what we endeavor to do over the next couple of days. Miigwech Chief.
Miigwech Boise. Veterans, if you would post the colors. We have a round of applause for our veterans, the reason we're here. Thank you, veterans. Again, I'd like to welcome everyone to the second annual Lac du Flambeau Economic Development Summit here at beautiful Lake of the Torches. My name is Brandon Tomes, Public Relations Director for the tribe. My gratitude goes out again to our veterans, and Mr. Leon Boise Valier for keeping our language alive. At this time, I'd like to introduce our tribal president, Mr. Tom Olson, a man that has fought numerous battles, fought long and hard for our treaty rights, fought for Indian people for as long as I've known him. Somebody I admire and look up to, our tribal president, Mr. Tom Olson.
Good morning, everybody. Usually they know you how to do. But every afterday, was walking in the new Jabam. Ogama was walking in. Excuse me for my sore throat. You know, I wish there was a lot of people here, but it comes sometimes. Sometimes it's a rainy day and it pours hard. And you got a lot of flood water. Sometimes it just sort of goes over and you get a few drops. But my good friend from LCO, which passed on, he said one drop of water will create a river. So this is probably the start of a river. I want to welcome the chairman from the Oneida Nation here. Chairman, and I wish we had a lot of other chairmans here. Let's give him a hand because he's come a long way. This is the second time here. I had him here one day, and it might be 2 days now, my keyboard. But he's been there for quite a while over there working with his people, you know, dealing with the same issues that we had on all reservations across this country. And I want to say big thanks to the singers. They've done excellent jobs for the tribe recently, and they're doing good out there. I said, I hope you guys got all A's, man, over there when you go to school. As much as you practice to do good, I'd like to see your report cards. So. But I can remember when this was never here, never happened. You know, we're old enough, some of us in this room are old enough to know that Lac du Flambeau had nothing way back. Remember when they started the lights over here in Waswaganing? Remember when the commodity trucks came to Waswaganing and have the opportunity to eat a variation of whatever here. And the community was poor, but yet we were still happy and existing. We had different crises in our communities. And like all other tribal communities, we got a different facet of people growing up, you know, not only around the world, but in the inner cities where the government put our people to use their brains or come home. But yet, you know, we're trying hard. We've got guys like Joni, Bill Beeson, a large group of our young people that's working hard to show their skills. I've been traveling with a few of them, and they've done wonders. It's really something, you know, to watch Boise get up and speak to Ojibwe Moan. Almost 30 years ago, I remember sitting, and it went by fast, Boise, sitting on that deal wagon and seeing what, you know, but listen to him today. It's really beautiful to hear that Ojibwe Moan. But we all can do it. He's done it. He's been our educator for our young people. We see our young people bringing back the tradition with the Dewagan and the Psalms. And we see my daughter's retired. Didn't think she was that old. But at the service, we've got all the other service people. It's just a good day in Flambeau, even though it's got a little snow out there. But I guess that's what the Creator made for us. And it's time now to enjoy the rest of the winter, I guess, and let's see if we can get some work done. Because we've got some exciting times for, you know, not only Lac du Flambeau, but for the other tribes. I hope you have a good day here today. I want to be leaving because I got another meeting to go to. As the chairman knows, you're really inundated with a lot of meetings on a daily basis. But I want to thank you guys. I hope everything goes well here today. And come on back. We don't want your money right away, but come on back anyway. You betcha.
Thank you, President Malson. To kick things off this morning, I'd like to introduce a man who has done a lot of work here in our community. He's worked with the Lac du Flambeau Tribes Ogama Communications Project. His company is instrumental in mentoring a group of our young future leaders who actually organized the event today. And I'd like to acknowledge those gentlemen. If you would just stand up, please. Daniel Tupro, Mike Murphy, David Fleming, Tony Theobald, our education director. These people are the Ogama Communications Group for the tribe, and they are our future leaders. As I said, they're going to be the ones with the vision and the knowledge and the determination to take our tribe further than we can ever imagine. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Bruce Rowell from Access Engineering. Again, he's done a lot of work with the tribe. He's mentored these young men. He's going to be speaking on the importance of community involvement in developing a broadband network. Thank you.
Bear with my computer for a minute. Why don't we keep starting? So I wanted to speak this morning. I've spent, I think it's a total of 2 years since I first met at the Browns County Economic Development Corporation. Good job. I used to the tribe. We spent about a year now out there. Spent about a year now working in Lac du Flambeau and developing the potential of broadband communications infrastructure.
You're not tall enough.
A lot of the communities in the Northwoods that we work with, there isn't a lot of options for broadband. But we have it better than some other states, and I always want to start with sharing some new local news. Utah lawmakers proposed anti-municipal broadband provider legislation, dated February 7th. We brought this in Wisconsin in about 2001, where some of the local telecoms did not want municipal zoning networks. And And we won that legislation in Wisconsin, and we don't have these type of issues, but there's currently, I think, 4 states that do not allow municipal telecom utilities. And if you look at this article, what they're stating is that they have a free and open shared fiber optic network that could be used by multiple telecoms. And a lot of these areas, the telecoms don't serve them, so they go build their own. When they build their own, and then they have issues with the local telecom. So here it says, because our network is open, the incumbent telecoms are welcome to join our network, but elected not to. And that's typically what we see over and over again, that a local telecom is not interested in that rural utility until someone does something, and then they want a piece of it and they don't participate. So over the last 13 years, I've been constructing municipally owned networks in the state of Wisconsin that are owned by cities, counties, school districts. So we can work together to create these utilities. Again, in the last 8 months, we've been working on the Broadband Tribal Apprenticeship Program, looking at a combination of a fiber optic backbone that would serve Vilas County, part of Iron, and part of Oneida County, to the town of Monaco, with a multitude of spectrum options we reviewed for the wireless portion of it. And that's another discussion that I'm sure we'll talk about this week. Most of these offerings, everybody wants to do the same thing. We want a robust wireless network, we want a fiber optic backbone or fiber to the home, digital telephone services, HD satellite services, and then hotspots for our community. The goals were to divide startup costs, recurring costs, the fiber optic system, the service area. And when we look at a ring, we looked at rolling out a comprehensive step-by-step process to serve the areas. We had community leaders that welcomed us with open arms to other ones that didn't want to talk to us. So the importance of working together, when we look at existing infrastructure and tower infrastructure, how do we co-locate these structures if we can't work together? Some of the dead spots that we're looking at filling in were on structures owned by communities, water tanks, towers. So the crucial involvement of working together to serve our area is very important. We also looked at augmenting our fiber ring with microwave hops to serve remote areas. A lot of the equipment that we're putting up on these towers takes a lot of space. If you look at some of our guys standing next to the transmitters, they're quite large. The biggest thing I want to get across is the partnerships in public safety. That's where we saw the most benefit, to work with school districts, providing direct fiber optic connections to county sheriff's departments, camera and smart system access control, county partnerships and co-location on towers, enhanced mobile data radio systems. By using the fiber optic network and then using wireless off of that systems, we can co-locate on existing towers in the county may own. Is there anybody here today from Vilas County Economic Development? Milwaukee didn't join us. They were crucial in working together with us. They sent out letters to all the townships in our service areas asking for town chairmen to cooperate. And we got overwhelming response and positive reaction. Here's a letter from Plum Lake from the chairman saying, we welcome this, we want to work with you. Other ones, Manitowish Waters, Joe Higgy, Grow North. Is there anybody from Grow North here today? Grow North, again, economic development in the county, involved with this project. It was important for us to be involved with the Sheriff's Department, because those transmitters that are used for broadband access or public safety access can be partnered with for broadband. And we're doing that in other counties where we can co-locate on towers, we again, co-located equipment rooms. This is Presque Isle, and this is the fire watch tower in Presque Isle. And you'll note that it's right next to the Presque Isle building. Presque Isle opened us with welcome arms and said you can even co-locate inside of our building. That saves the tribe, maybe $20,000, $30,000 for a radio line. So that level of working together will help any broadband initiative. Unfortunately, we had tried to work with the county and say, coordinate structures with us. If you know you're going to replace a structure and we can partner together and we have monies to fund that, that would be a good way to partner together. Other ones like water towers. Eagle River on the right is used by Vilas County Sheriff's Department as a microwave. There's an example of a Sheriff's Department on a local community tower. On the left is an example of a tower that's empty and can be used. So elevation is always an issue with the application, but again, by working with your local community leaders to build a broadband network, I think is essential. The private sector co-location space, if I go back to my map with those circles on it, and I looked at where's all the infrastructure in Vilas County, you'll know that elevation is a big clue to where those transmitters are at. We did FCC studies of looking at where co-location was at, and there's a lot of tower space out there for use. But we have pricing ranging anywhere from $3,000 a month to $6,000 a month sometimes. Verizon uses the rule, if I'm over $3,000 a month, I'm not going to attach to the tower or build my own. One of the things that I think is vital in making a community network work together is looking at public safety, so I'm coming back to that. Homeland Security, SAFECOM, Office of Emergency Communications. There's public safety grants available through this network, and one of the things we wanted to talk about was FirstNet also, which I'm going to get to, but has anybody heard of FirstNet besides our Ogama team? Yes? Is that your partner? Joni, are you talking about FirstNet separately? A little bit? No? Okay. So, what we've been doing in a lot of these communities is using mobile data radio applications off of the fiber ring connected to a dispatch tower. Or we'll have fiber from dispatch to the transmitter locations or locations. From that point, a lot of these communities are looking at augmenting for mobile data radio services to bring high-speed, multi-services to the police officer or a smart device. And I'll get to FirstNet. The first thing I want to talk about public safety is Bill S-146, which is the School Campus Safety Act. So April last year, after Sandy Hook, Senator Barbara Boxer introduced a bill that anywhere from, in this dissertation, $40 billion, which is going to roll out of COPS, community-oriented policing services. There's two funds in there, COPS and COPS Tribal COPS, with two different funding cycles. The last I saw on this was $150 in the budget for COPS. So under COPS, there's also things like smart door locks, first defense fencing. We even have a product that's fiber optic fence, that the fiber runs through the fence and makes the first barrier for school safety. So by creating a broadband network and having these subsidies or buckets that we can dip out of, makes it much more feasible to deploy it. So this is going to come out in 2014. And I had there's a website here, and I'll make this presentation available to anybody that wants to go look at it. I looked at it last night again, and there hasn't been any. There's an activity number of Bill 24 or something like that. It's supposed to be reviewed by Congress. So it's still alive. We tried organizing all of our schools here. And one of the meetings I actually have tomorrow is with Vilas County Public Safety and Northern Pines School District. So we brought this concept in early May of last year, and we said, let's get all the school districts together and take a look at using that subsidy and working together to build this as part of the network. We've done that with other school districts, West Dallas, West schools. We have fiber connected directly from public safety dispatch into their fiber network. And COPS funding paid for that. We also got COPS funding to pay for part of our network in York County to do the same thing. So now Northern Pines wants to come back and meet with Files County to see, can we build this fiber network, can we subsidize it, can we connect it together? One of the other things you can look at in the community is EBS or VRS radio services. And these frequencies were developed for higher education. They were meant to bring instructional television fixed services to higher education. We went through a process here that we discovered these frequencies and we tried to negotiate with Nicolay College for that. Those frequencies at 2.4 EBS, 2.5 EBS are subsidy eligible under mobility and smart funds. So look at those frequencies, look at the footprint, it's powerful stuff. This is off of Nicolay College's dashboard at the LCC, showing the type of footprint that they can achieve with these frequencies. It is legal to do lease arrangements for those type of frequencies from your local provider. I think at St. Norbert College in Green Bay, they made a deal with Sprint and they sold those off at least for 15 years. But you're able to do 4G LTE with these type of frequencies. I won't go through all that. FirstNet. What's FirstNet? FirstNet is going to be a nationwide single frequency or interoperability frequency between states. So standardized protocols, interfaces, it's going to be at 700 megahertz. So 700 megahertz, the towns or the communities, counties that chose 700 megahertz will be further ahead because they'll be able to use that frequency for public safety. What is it going to be? It's going to be imagery. I'll be able to send an image from a car accident from the power company to the police department, or the police department to the power company to an EMT in a smart device. So radio frequency plus visual image. And this was started in February of last year. But the thing I think that's really interesting about it is that all utilities, the utilities are involved. So, the faster responses to emergency situations, EMT, fire, police, everybody be able to communicate at the same frequency, the feds being able to communicate with the local agencies. And you think interoperability would be easy, but the political boundaries of some of these things make it more difficult. So they're going to rearrange some of the 700 megahertz and add more spectral bandwidth to it. And when they do that, they're going to be doing the spectrum auctions for these type of things over tribal land. So we talk about spectrum over tribal land. This is something to keep an eye on to make sure that your community is involved in it. And Joni, you have the person of people and you can talk about that. So February 22nd, President Obama signed the Middle Class Act, Tax Relief Act, to create this. And it will roll, through a statewide interoperability coordinator or a SWIC coordinator in every state. And as I understand it, the SWIC coordinator is going to coordinate with WEMA and FEMA in every state. The first part of it, they're going to be doing surveys in every state. Some states are ahead of us. So they'll say, look at the infrastructure that's there. And why is this important? Well, it's important because if Oklahoma builds something, or we build something that is a community-owned network, they can look at working with you and using some of those pieces for possible subsidy money. If I'm not on FirstNet, I could expend, rumors are at $35, $45 per user per radio for every agency that's involved. So if you're not on board in a few years, it's kind of like narrowbanding was for radio. You have to then pay a fee to access it. So instead of paying a fee to access it, if I have the infrastructure, none of them have the game. So we've approached Vilas County on this also to work together as a partnership. The subsidies and grant funding mechanisms that we can look at to fund some of these community networks I have on the screen. I think most people know where that's at. And I believe Joni said the rumor is that there's only like 5 tribes looking at the tribal mobility from the last round of $50 million. It's still at $150 million for the coming year.
It's 50 million and 10 million per year afterwards for 10 years.
Another one the state has, which is kind of humorous almost, is this $500,000. It's $500,000 for the entire state for broadband. And if I divide that by 10 communities or something, maybe I could build 1.5 miles of fiber in each one. So people are getting all excited over that one, and people are looking at that. But the School of Campus Safety Act, again, don't forget about that, anywhere from 40 to 150 million to 40 billion, whatever Congress ends up with the budget for that, but that's supposed to roll out sometime summer this year. The distance learning grant program, the DLT, a lot of people overlook that one's there. And then DOJ, SAFECOM, and Community Connect is another one to mention, why we should work together with communities. If we find a community that's underserved, we can build a library access point for internet that will be funded by the government. We've looked at that in some of our communities, but it wasn't feasible for us to do this at this time. But if you have a network and I need to extend to that community and it's eligible for Community Connect, that would be another one that you could use. That makes sense to me. So in wrapping this up, I just urge local community leaders to work together and form alliances and try to be friends with each other. We have so many stories where some of these networks I built 10 years ago, and because of political leaders or the temperature wasn't right, they didn't want to participate with it. And then they'll come back later after political changes happen and say we want to work together with you in building this thing. So timing and budgets are always hard, but if you can work together, I think you can make a success.